Hey everybody, how are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? We won, so let's be happy, let's celebrate, let's talk a little bit about Inter Miami beating Toronto Italia, the Italian national team. And then coming up next, we have to travel to New York or New Jersey, whatever. Same thing, right? We're going to have a lot of fun tonight, bantering back and forth, having some fun in the chat. But, of course, I don't do this by myself. Say hello to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed.
How's it going, guys? I hope you guys are listening to us okay. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. I think I'm a little slow.
Yep, you are. You're a little bit choppy, a little bit behind. But at least I can hear you this time.
Yeah, I hear that.
Well, everybody.
Oh, that's cool. Hopefully it'll get a little bit better.
How was your weekend, Ed? I know how your Saturday night was.
Well, it was a great day. I was really excited, Peter, because we won. We're going to get to that in a little bit. Peter's going to make fun of me. And by the way, this is not the same jersey that Peter was talking about. This is the training jersey. I had the actual original, the one that's, it's got the collar and everything that the team plays with. That's the one that's dirty. There you go. That's the one right there. Dirty.
I think there's some stains on it too, Ed. I think it looks like it might need to be washed.
I think you're right.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Ed's hygiene a little bit, as you saw in the title of the video. He has decided he doesn't want to wash his shirt because he's afraid there's some luck involved with his Stinky shirt.
Superstition. Right. Call me superstitious. Isn't there a song like that?
Yeah. That's what's his name? The blind guy.
Yeah. Blind guy. Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
I gotta tell you, Peter. Right before I got in here, I barely made it.
Yes,
because
I know.
We had bought this inflatable pool for our grandkids, and it's big enough so that my wife and I, we were soaking in it. And I was like, I got to go to the show. And my wife said, no, wait for a little bit. So there I was waiting for a little bit, and then I realized, I'm like, let me check the time real quick. And sure enough, it was like 5 minutes left.
Yeah, here, just listen to that, everybody. Listen to that. I sit here, I set up this show an hour and a half early. I am sitting here at 5:30 setting everything up. This guy strolls in from the pool. The last second has some technical difficulties. All right. Strolling in the last second, living the good life in the pool.
I was chilling.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting
having
here,
a couple beers.
I'm ready. I'm set. I'm ready, waiting.
But we can afford these type of luxuries, Peter. We're winning.
Oh, okay.
I may be stinky, but we're winning.
We're winning. All right, we're gonna get to all that. Everybody in the chat room, please say hello if we haven't already. Let's start. Let us see that you're here. And but before we get too far, let's say a big thank you to our sponsor, and that is Caneswear. Caneswear is located in Davie, Florida, on University Drive, just south of 595. Caneswear is where you can go and get a great selection of Inter Miami gear at great prices. You're going to mention Futbol Miami TV, and you're going to get some money off. And if going to Davie is too far for you, if you live in Doral or Kendall or the Redlands,
Homestead,
okay, yeah, or the other direction. If you live in Tampa or wherever you may be and still support Inter Miami, they ship there. Go to caneswear.com. Anything over $99 ships for free. So great place to go and buy your Inter Miami gear, and great supporters of our shows. You want to support us? Support them.
Support them.
That's how you support us.
But I think I'm catching up, Peter, a little bit.
All right, good. So, who's in the chat?
Peter, that's another thing I wanted to tell you. One of my grandkids has my phone, so I won't be able to.
You're a
You're going to have to do the honors.
You
Dude,
are
today
a
I
train
am.
wreck, Ed.
Totally a train wreck.
All right, so this
Total
is
train
who
wreck.
I see in the chat, and I only see people in the chat that have chatted since we launched. So if you chatted beforehand, go ahead and say hello again. First off, I see in the chat is Jose Velasquez. Good evening, Jose. As always, we've got one world, one goal. Enjoy your pizza. 50%
Nice.
off at Papa John's.
Papayón.
Papillon. Eric Thomas is in here as well.
Saying hello to another Italian.
Kata saying, everybody's saying hello to One World, One Goal. She is very popular here in this chat. Richard Greenberg, we were looking for you. He got a flat tire on the way to the game, was stranded for 4 hours waiting for Eva's emergency assistant. Holy cow.
So he missed the game. He basically came to watch the game. We were supposed to hang with him. In a way, it's good because, we didn't make fun of him because, his team lost. So, you should be a little grateful for that. But it would have been great to hang out with him. Catch up. And
we were looking forward to
unfortunate
meeting you. And sorry that you got a flat tire. That sucks. 4 hours for emergency service.
Wow. That's the whole game.
Kevin Gonzalez is in the chat as well. As of now, 5th place in the Eastern Conference, and we can talk about that tonight. A couple of games are being played right now. And
I like how he says he smells the playoffs.
Smells.
Or does he smell me?
Yeah. Who do you really smell there, Kevin? All right. Yeah, Richard was heartbroken that he missed the game and meeting the two of us. Troy is here as well. Did you say 5th place? He did. Jet Pancake. Speaking of somebody we recently met. Young Carranza is here as well. Supporter section was amazing last night. He felt the energy.
You felt there were more people in the stands too.
Yeah. Well, team did a big giveaway, right? So every season ticket holder got at least one extra ticket. And then I think for anybody that bought tickets, it was almost like a buy one, get one free or something like that. I mean, they had some sort of deal for people that were buying tickets.
I think it was a 2-for-1 or something like that.
Okay. So they definitely fluffed the numbers. But even still, I saw we were still near the bottom of the it's bad when Colorado Rapids have more fans in attendance than we do. Colorado is well known for years of having a horrible attendance. And Colorado had 15,380 while we had 14,388. So it was improved. We had a little over 3,000 more than last week. So giving away all those tickets only resulted in 3,000 people coming, because it's one of those things where a lot of teams will kind of fluff their numbers by giving away tickets, and it's kind of criticized in the sports community. But it's.
But we mentioned that there were more people. We were. You could tell because the restrooms were also a little more filled up, and
I thought the numbers were going to be a little more than 14,000 because, like you said, Ed, we're used to strolling up to our seats about 5 minutes before the game. Nobody's in our way. We hit the bathroom on the way because maybe you've had a few beers before going up to your seat. Or in last night's game, we had a few coffees on our way, and we'll talk about that on our way to our seats. And but normally, it's just a clear, open breezeways. Nobody there. This time, man, we have people get out of the way. There's too many people.
We had to, do some maneuvering there to get through some people. And I remember you mentioning, I'm not used to this.
It's one of those things where
when you said 14,000, I thought there was going to be more.
I thought so too. I thought 16s at least, but it's one of those double-edged things. Like, you want the stadium to be full, but I also like having my space, especially after we kind of still, in a world in recovery, if you will, and look, don't get too close to me. Right. So anyways, let's continue on. We've got still a few more to say hello to. Marvin Mieles in from your homeland. From
Ecuador.
Hello from Ecuador. B King, we heard from B King over there with the on the West End, eating all the good food.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't come and visit like he said he might. He did not come and visit. I was a little let down.
Well, somebody's dog's barking.
That would be mine. Normally I have the door closed, but I don't because I'm the only one home. And if I do that, the dog scratches on the door, and he has to have full, everything. So,
entrance, yeah.
Richard Greenberg commenting on, I can't believe how hot and humid South Florida is this time of year. I couldn't imagine trying to play in these summer conditions. And that's something we could start off right there, Ed. You and I both were commenting that it's felt so much hotter this Saturday.
There was no breeze, man.
There was no air. No air. And now I don't know how much of that was us, drinking up a bunch of Cafe Bustelo just before the game.
That must have contributed. Yeah, I think that contributed quite a bit because at least you were incredibly wired, man. You were just like, we had cortaditos, we had a café con leche, we had a colada, and Peter. After that, he was. I think you're gonna notice we did a video. You could see that Peter is pretty wired. You can tell.
Yeah. We drank all the coffee.
Yeah, and I was telling them, how every job in South Florida, or basically in Miami, they always have that old lady that does the cafecitos, the colada for you.
Yeah.
And people are always like, passing by with the colada, you have your little shot, and they call that the poor man's cocaine. Just letting you guys know.
Yeah,
and Peter looked like he was, he was doing good.
I felt fine, but my brother, who was with us as well, did say I was speaking a little faster. But yeah. So I don't know if the coffee played a part into it, but it was hotter than it was the week before. Now the week before, it was hot, but there was a threat of rain that day, and so there was a bit of a cool breeze coming through the stadium. Last night there was zero breeze. But here's the thing that bugs me all the time. So Richard's talking about playing in this weather. I always feel that the teams coming in, a team from Toronto, should look beat, should look tired, and
especially they played 3 games in this week. Yeah,
and that may have helped us win. They definitely looked a little bit tired, but not as much as I expect. Right, I expect that heat to beat them down, and they were, really throwing everything at us at the end of that game. So they didn't
let up. They were still they were trying to get those points at least a point out of the game.
When you hear Ray Hudson talk about back in the striker days, how in the strikers the humidity was such a home field advantage and they used it to their advantage. I wonder, and I'm constantly thinking about that, thinking that our team should look more fit than the others coming in. But is that just the old-fashioned way of thinking? Because all these players are much more of a specimens than they were back in Ray's day. Ray, they're better trained, they're better fed. They take care of themselves a lot better. I mean, Ray was going to get drunk after every game with the boys at the pub, right? That doesn't happen. These guys really care about their bodies, right?
And in the Fusion days, we'd run into a lot of these players. You'd see Bish and you'd see Ian. I remember McKinley was also there, and who was it? What was the name of that bar? It was something
Fox
Todo.
and Hound.
Was it? No, there was another one that was even closer.
Yeah, there was the something Toad. Something Toad.
There you go.
One World, One Goal. Might remember it. Sammy DPR saying De La Torre was saying he's currently in DC, debating if he should go to the DC game with a Miami jersey. Yes, go. Yes, I don't know. I clicked on that by mistake, Ed. So that's why I figured let me read it since I clicked on it by mistake.
Oh. Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean, I don't know if today's players really, if the humidity is such an advantage with how fit today's players are, but it was good. Jet Pancake commenting that the atmosphere felt really good last night, but it's unfortunate that South Florida doesn't really have consistent attendances. Yeah. I mean, I always said it from the very beginning when we first talked about getting a team in South Florida. Like, some of us were like, oh, we're gonna, we're gonna have great attendance. And I was always like, yeah, I'm not gonna claim we're gonna have great attendance. I just want a team, right?
That's how, yeah. We just wanted a team. Well, I never thought we were gonna fill up the stadium every single time, but unless we had a player like Messi or Ronaldo, something like that, I think we would have had a chance. But
speaking of Messi, we saw a few Messi shirts, Inter Miami Messi shirts at the game. People are already prepared.
It's hilarious, yeah.
And we saw that these aren't Barcelona Messi shirts or Paris Saint-Germain
Miami Messi shirts.
People are they're buying their pink jersey and they're putting Messi on the back.
Ain't that something?
That is funny. We saw a few of them yesterday, and people are they're getting ready for him to come to town.
I hope so.
All right. Well, Ed, so let's talk about your hygiene. What?
Well, Peter, okay, let's get down to it.
Where did this come from? Where does this superstition come from? Why?
I don't know. I'm not the only person that does it, man. I just we started winning. I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear that shirt the next day. Just, it's been 5 games that I've been wearing it, Peter Brown, away and home games. So it's been 5 games, I think, since we've won.
And did you notice this week? Yeah, 5 unbeaten games. Did you notice this week I put my brother between you and me?
There's a reason to it, and
I'm starting to get,
maybe the stench is. I mean, I put some cologne on top just before I left.
That's the trick. That's the trick in my house. My daughter is like, "Can I put a little Febreze on this and wear it again?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?"
Yeah. Well, I've been doing that. As a matter of fact, as soon as I got home, I put another layer of the good smelly stuff. So hopefully, next game I'll be able to wear it and it won't be too offensive to my fellow, soccer fans. But yeah, man, I'm just one of those people that, just if something's working, wear it. It might be stupid. I know there's people out there that's going to criticize me, but I'm wearing the same thing. Some people say, hey, wash it anyways. But no, man, it's got to be the way it's got to be, Yeah.
Cotta said it all right
Kinda
there.
Stinky.
You stink.
Stink.
Yeah, so I am
So
not
what do you guys
superstitious.
think? Do you have something you do, a routine? Do people have a routine or something that they do before every game?
I mean, some players do. Yeah, I've heard of it. But I mean, I try to. I've got enough. Here's how I feel. It's like I've bought enough Inter Miami gear that every game I try to, I flip it around. There's no superstitions here. And just flip it around here. One world, one goal.
Well,
saying Chi Uncle Ed bringing the stank.
Yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do for that win.
Yeah. So, speaking of the win, so what a shot by Mata. So that started off the scoring sheet. Mata, we complain about him shooting from 30 yards out all the time, and I'm always telling you, yeah, but there's going to be that 1 or 2 times, and it's going to make all those misses worth it. Now, this is his, I think, second in recent weeks that he's, kind of belted one from distance.
And it's finally paying off. This was a shot that's direct to the goalkeeper. I guess he did it strong enough where the goalkeeper couldn't hold it.
Man, it was like too hot for the keeper. It was funny as we're sitting with Julio, and Julio commented like, that keeper's got some of the biggest gloves I've ever seen. He got some big old Mickey Mouse gloves. right there, trying to stop. Maybe that's part of the problem. Big old Mickey Mouse gloves were just too big for him to hold that ball, but that ball was too hot for that keeper. And I'm not sure. I'm curious which Richard Greenberg, our resident Toronto fan, what he thinks of that goalkeeper, because we saw that goalkeeper and we're like, test him, keep firing it at him. He didn't look so great. He looked questionable in other plays as well. So we're like, fire him away.
We needed more shots on goal, but this is one of those games where we scored those 2 goals. After the second goal, we just let them, hold on to the ball, and I think they were thinking these guys are going to burn out with the humidity, and they're not going to be able to keep this up. And fortunately, our defense they were right on top of things. I mean, Damien
talk about Damien
Lowe was on fire. I mean, he did it. There's this one play towards the beginning of the game that he just held onto that ball too long, I think, but it ended up going out of bounds. But dude, he made me suffer that moment, because I was like, oh dude, they're gonna score on us, they're gonna take that ball away from him, but he held on, and the ball went out, and I was like, wow, he was so sure of himself.
Yeah.
He was sometimes I think he's too sure of himself, where it's like dangerous that he might lose the ball, but I think he did well.
There's a few pass backs to the keeper that probably shouldn't have been done, and that definitely make us nervous when that happens. But Damien Lowe gets criticized a lot on the old interwebs, but he's one of my favorites.
He gets away with it.
I love the way he reads the game, though, because he seems to read the game really well and steps up and interrupts plays. I mean, he's also guilty of giving up stuff. Like, the entire defense falls asleep from time to time, and he's part of that. So I'm not giving him he definitely is part of the problem, but he's also part of the solution, right? So, but I love watching how he kind of reads and intercepts the game, steps up at the right times so often. We mentioned the goalkeeper and asking Richard what his thoughts were, and he says Bono, whatever it is, has really cost Toronto some serious points over the last couple of games. So, he's part of the problem, and the Italians that they brought in, they definitely were dangerous. Insigne and then what's the other one? The number 10, what's his name again?
Something or other.
I forgot his name. Those two guys in the attack, lethal. Insigne gets a goal. And that goal that Insigne scored, it was a defense, stopped a shot, ball flies up in the air. It's anybody's ball, but it goes right to Insigne and he takes a shot. I can't blame anybody for that goal, in my opinion. I thought Steve Munoz helping us out, Bernardeschi or something like that. Yeah. I knew it was on the tip of my tongue.
You got the Bernardeschi.
Hey, get us some pizza pie. So Richard says their other goalkeeper is hurt, but I'll tell you this: Toronto, they have not had a good season, but I would look out for them next year, because those 3 Italians that they brought in have made a difference. They are dangerous, and then that old man Bradley he still can make some great passes, and I think next year they make a few changes, maybe in defense, because their defense is pretty suspect. Which, thank you. I think
thank goodness for us.
I think they could be dangerous next year.
Yeah. I think they're too much in the hole right now to dig themselves out. But I mean, there's still enough games. If they pull a miracle off, they might be able to do it. It's still kind of tight. We're up in the 5th place, but there's still enough games for that to change. We can have a bad streak, and there goes our season. But I'm hoping that we're in this. I'm gonna keep wearing my shirt, until the thing starts falling apart, or we lose and I'll wash it.
Man,
so
that's a new shirt too. That's a new shirt. We should
get a loss in there, and
that's a new shirt, and it's just gonna get eaten away by funk. Funk is gonna just eat it away.
Funky Ed. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Instead of Uncle Ed, Funky Ed.
There you go. Hey, reminder, I didn't mention it before, but want to give us a call, 786-474-4435. We have one voicemail on the docket. Just to update everybody that's watching this live. If you're watching this on replay, well, then you already know the answers. But New York City is up right now over Chicago. Atlanta is beating Columbus, which is good for us, I think. And Charlotte, Orlando are currently 0-0. And the way the standings are, I mean, we definitely here, let's go to it. And the standings here, we definitely, all the red dots are teams that are playing. So we definitely want Orlando to lose. I guess Charlotte gets 3 points.
Or tie, right?
I think maybe it's best for Charlotte and Orlando to tie, right? Each get 1 point. They'd still be below us. And then Columbus.
And that's all that matters.
New York, we want New York to beat Columbus.
Right.
You know, because New York,
Columbus down.
We're not catching New York City, so that's fine. So we want that game. And Atlanta really has no, they're still
they're close enough.
That's the thing is everybody from 13th place is still really kind of in the hunt. You string some wins together. Toronto and Chicago, they can still jump up. If all of a sudden we've got a 5-game unbeaten streak, if we go the other direction, we start heading downward. The only team that's 100% out of it is DC, who keeps getting beat bad. They just lost to Philadelphia, 5-0, 4-0, something bad. So
right. Crazy, man. Crazy.
Richard Greenberg comments, if you bring that shirt to the upcoming Miami game in Toronto, Canadian Customs won't let you into the country.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. It's I've put enough cologne on it that I think it's
you might
passable.
fool them. You might fool them.
Now the stains are a different thing. For the most part, I've kept it somewhat, decent, but I think I did drip some coffee on it. So, and a little bit of beer. So, there might be stain here and there.
At least
it is pink.
Yeah. At least it's not as bad. Not this week, but last week we were at the Southern Legion tailgate. I mean, we were there a little bit this week as well. But last week I saw JP, part of the Southern Legion, and he's got his pink heartbeat
JC
jersey.
You mean
JC. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you're watching, I'm sorry. That's my thing. I mess up names. But yeah, so JC has got a big old burn mark. I mean, a big old shred in the middle of his shirt, and that's in one way he's proud of it because battle scars.
It's a war. It's a war scar.
Yeah, battle scars in the supporter section. But I would not be.
I can hear my wife in the other room watching the show. So I just gotta say, I love you, baby.
She loves that stank. She's got to put up with that.
Well, she's used to it. I think my perfume, my natural man perfume is she likes it.
All right.
She's got no choice, right?
Yeah, Kata says Funky 69 Ed. We got to put that on the back of your shirt.
Next year. Funky Ed instead of Uncle Ed. Yeah.
Yeah. Anthony Manzano's asking us a question off topic a little bit, but we did mention Messi. Pete and Ed, should I believe the rumors that Messi is coming to Miami and Bex is offering him 30% ownership of Miami? I think what I could say, Ed, and you tell me if you feel different, is we are confident there are conversations. To what exactly are all those details accurate that were leaked out? Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's. I mean, Bex can't offer him 30% because I think he owns maybe 15%. Because I remember he bought some more.
Well, it would be Jorge and Jorge and Beck's, I mean, it's
Jorge Mas and Jose Mas own most of the team. Bex, I think I heard he bought a little bit more into it. He put some more money into it, I heard. So maybe he's got 15%. Not sure.
That would basically be giving up what Clore gave back. Like they bought from Clore. Clore had 33%, so giving him 30, it's close to what Clore had. It'd be giving him that, Clore ownership stake.
A little less, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we're confident that there have been conversations, and to what extent does it end up happening? I mean, there's so many things, so many rumors, so many things can change, but they're talking, and we know people,
and I don't think anybody would mind. So
no,
oops, sorry.
Like I said in other
excuse me, I almost died there.
Yeah.
Lung almost came out.
Like we've kind of said before, is that the league wants Messi. It would be a feather in the cap of the league. If they need to change the rules like they did when Beckham came in, they would. If all of a sudden there needs to be a fifth or a sixth DP just to get him in, it would happen. There was a book called the Beckham Rule, right? And there would be a new one called the Messi Rule if that's what needed to be done. So, yeah. Esteban Tito finally arriving, getting in here a little bit late. Welcome. Richard Greenberg asking how Pozuelo played last night. He hasn't seen any of the highlights of the game. What were your thoughts on Pozuelo, Ed?
I think he was rather quiet. He did do a couple of movements that I thought were impressive. A lot of them were quiet. A lot of the players that came in a little bit after. We basically gave the ball away in the second half after the second goal. So we suffered. I always tell Peter how much to make us suffer through every game because we scored first, then we let them tie, and then we scored an extra goal. Yeah, we can't hold lead for the life of us. And then we basically gave the ball away, and I think they were hoping that they would burn themselves out and that our defense would be on top of it. They were, thankfully for us. And I just there was a couple of plays. That one that looked like it was a penalty. I'm not sure if they ever went back and looked at it. But from where we were sitting, it looked like it was a penalty, and everybody was yelling at the ref and. But they never called it back. They never looked at the VAR. So,
I think they look at it. They just if they don't see anything, they don't even tell the ref. They just go on. But because I think all that stuff is definitely reviewed. But yeah, it definitely looked like one to us. But I would say, in my opinion, I think Pozuelo. I would agree with 1-1 goal here. He looked tired. He looked a little tired. He insists on wearing long sleeves in the first half every game. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
He starts every game wearing long sleeves. Second half.
Superstition.
Maybe. Second half, he changes into short sleeves. But so I would say it wasn't his best game, but I would say he still had an impact. He still was making great passes and still gives Higuaín the confidence to stay up. Higuaín doesn't feel like he needs to drop back as much. So even Pozuelo having a bad night, or not even a bad night, it just slightly off night, he still adds a lot to the team. And so still super valuable to the team.
And it also helps out if Higuaín stays up because it makes the other teams have to open up their lines a little bit more, and they have to spread out. In a way, it's good. It's spreading them out a little bit more. But we also miss a player that goes back and helps defend.
Campana.
That's one thing that we miss Campana about, because Campana would always go back, defend, and go back to the front.
That was one thing I noticed about Pozuelo is a couple times he just let Toronto just go right by him. He put in no effort to defend. And people did mention that when we were when we signed Pozuelo, I remember reading and hearing people say, "Well, he's not going to defend." And I was like, "Well, yeah, that's just kind of like a Higuain." But and he didn't. He just let people just kind of. He didn't even put a leg out, dude. He didn't even do anything. But and Toronto was throwing everything at us, especially at the end of that game.
Everything in the kitchen sink, but they weren't able to score, so that's good for us.
I did hear some people, and I want to kind of switch top. I want to play the voicemail, and then also I think we should start talking a little bit about what's coming up. But I did hear people throwing like shade at my boy Bryce Duke. Bryce Duke comes into the game along with Emerson, and Duke did not have the impact that he has had recently. He might have been a little bit off, but then again, I think it was a tough game for anybody to come into. I mean, Toronto was just firing everything, like you said, at the kitchen sink, everything. And
we weren't dominating the ball either,
No.
so it's kind of like they decided to just probably the coach's idea. Let's just let them attack. We'll counter. And when Bryce came in, I was feeling that maybe we were going to get the hold onto the ball a little bit more, and that just didn't happen. I guess they just were able to press on and hold on to the ball that much more that they kind of canceled them out.
Yeah, but people are saying stuff like in online that this proves that Duke is not prepared to be a starter. Meanwhile, just recently he won Player of the Match, right? Heineken Man of the Match. He's not prepared to be a starter. He's not. Some people going so far to say he should be on the Inter Miami 2 team. He's too young. Blah blah blah. Leave my boy Duke alone. I love that kid. That kid's good. He, just like all players may have a little bit off, but like I said, it was a tough game to come into, and we were, like you said, we weren't having any kind of possession at all. And the one thing I did like, I liked Emerson coming in. Yeah, he can't score. Yeah, he gives up the ball a lot. I mean, he did score once, but he's able to kind of stretch the field a little bit. We needed that speed for him to kind of take the goal up, even if he loses it, take it up into their 10-yard box, and even if he loses it, he's still bleeding off some time.
That's one thing that I thought was good. I think we mentioned it. We kind of talked about it. Or I think you mentioned it, that he was doing that, and I was like, I was okay with it. I think it was perfect. He holds on to the ball and he'll take it to the very edge and throw it away, but he'll hold on to it.
At the moment, you're a little frustrated that he kind of loses the ball, and you're like, well, again, But at the end of the day, you think about it. We just need to survive this last 15 minutes. Let him do that. Just let him do that. So
let him do his thing. It worked out.
One World, One Goal is having the same struggles we are. Peter, I spent the whole show trying to remember the name of the pub. Very good times. And Phil Shane was on the pre-show. Awesome pub. Regular too. Right. The pub was like right across the street from Lockhart. Something.
Wasn't it the Frog and Toad or something like that?
Something like that. It had the Toad. Toad was in the name.
The Toad and something or other. But a lot of the players would go there, and I would go there with my friend Ted sometimes, and we were young, and we'd run into the players, and I thought that was like one of the coolest things ever.
Frog and Toad. It was called the Frog and Toad. And let's look at it. That's where it was, apparently.
That's where it was.
It's now a wholesale computers place.
Oh.
But it's the Frog and Toad. So you got it, Ed.
There you go. See? Wow.
So,
memories, I tell you.
Something about people are Troy is mentioning that, does it look like Neville's letting players create and be less rigid? Maybe. I don't know. But one thing, I don't know how much that is at the coach. I mean, once they're out there, they do what they want to do. How much does he really control? But the coach just got back in time because he kept telling everybody he's an American now. Now I had to look it up because I wasn't sure. That didn't sound right to me. And then Michelle Kaufman had written something on Twitter that straightened it out because he was saying he was an American, and I'm like, wait a minute, how did he get citizenship that fast? It just doesn't work that fast. I mean, I know because I've been through it with family members. He's got his green card. So he's not a citizen, but still he's
a resident.
He's now a resident, so he's legal. He's not. He doesn't have a work visa, So because he had and that the other thing was I was thinking it's like, wait a minute, he had to go back to England for 5 days, and the reason he was doing that was because of becoming an American, right? And to become a citizen, you don't go back to your country. You do that when it's a green card. So. And so that tells me, Ed, if he's working so hard to get a green card, 2 things. It makes it, if he has a green card, I think if it makes it easier for him to get his son a green card. So his Harvey could potentially play with the first team next year, maybe. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm just throwing that out there. But then it also tells me that Phil ain't going anywhere. Anybody that's like a Phil hater, he went through all this effort to become an American. In his in his words, he was joking around in the post game conference talking about putting fruit on his eggs and pancakes and all that, and he says that's proper American.
Oh yeah, it is
proper American. But,
I think you're onto something, Peter. I think I for sure. I think he's done enough.
He's not going anywhere.
I think knock on wood that we're going to make the playoffs. That should be enough to keep him on the team for next year. And but things are starting to develop. I think there's the process is starting to work out. We're getting to the point where the players are really enjoying themselves on the field. We're getting the results that we want. So I think everything's pointing out, Phil Neville's going to be with us for another year, unless we lose every single game that's left.
Right.
I don't see that happening. I think we're on the other side, hoping Campana recovers soon, and for his sake more than anything, because he needs to score some more goals and go to the World Cup. If he can. Yeah, Peter doesn't want that to happen for selfish reasons.
Selfish reasons. I want to keep his price tag down. I want him to stay with us. He's a player I think they need to make an offer for. He's done enough.
Make him a DP. Yeah.
He's done enough, but let's keep him affordable. That's all I'm saying. Because I don't know. Is it possible that he could even come in as a TAM player currently, like right now?
I don't know, man.
Would
I don't know
he be
his,
a DP? I don't know how
actually...
I don't know how the team that owns him. I don't know how they value him. So that would be the real question: is what is their value?
Yeah, I think they paid. I'm not sure how many millions they paid for him, but I think it's up there. We pay like peanuts for him right now. So we need to find out a little bit more about how much they actually want for him. And I think they should pull the trigger. They need to, be a little more creative with Higuain. I think he still has another year in him. Maybe for him to come back, but not as a DP though.
Right.
Hopefully he'll go for it.
Some conversation about the green card status. Something I did not realize. Steve Munoz is saying his son Harvey Mivel might have finally gotten his green card as well. The whole family traveled to England, so I didn't know that. The team didn't announce it, and so you're just, I guess, following that stuff on Twitter and stuff like that, and I really have not been online a whole lot. So yeah, Kata's right. Could be Harvey could be on the first team when he comes back, because the roster freezes September 2nd. So
interesting. Well, we'll see what develops on that front. I
think that's a next year thing, but get a green card, and he's definitely got a good shot. Hey Ed, why don't we play a voicemail?
Let's do it.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello.
Woohoo! It's Italia, one world, one goal. Hey, Peter, Uncle Ed, and all the great fans. What a game. I was in my lucky chain pair and my lucky socks. I finally figured out which socks are lucky. I got to remember this next time. And I can understand why Chi-Chi Uncle Ed is doing his stanky shirt. Because we got to bring the luck. And what about that D? The defense looking good. The Drake calendar looking good. And I was like, Neville, what are you doing, Mr. Coach? Subbing those the Lassiter scores and he subs him out. I'm like, what are you doing? And then he pulls Pozuelo out, but he looks like a genius because he won. So love it. Love you guys. Beckham effect, of course. And he must watch the show because they were showing a really cool Victoria Posh Beckham Spice Girl shirt that they were in, and they posted on social media. So love our Spice Girls. Love you guys. Love the show. Bye.
I don't think his wife was at the game, though, was she? I didn't see her.
I'm not sure. That's something that I wasn't sitting next to Julio Caballero, who usually he's got that phone where he could look in to see, in front of us to see if Beckham's there, and he does it during every game. But I was on one side, and he had all his friends on the other side, so I barely got to see Julio this time.
But keep in mind, Julio's also still kind of blind, so it's like he took a picture of like of Henderson, and he's like, yeah, there he is. That's Beckham. And go, no, it's not. That's Henderson. But Beckham was definitely there. I saw him, and we all saw the photos of his two sons were there as well on social media. But one during one of the calls, I don't remember which call it was, but one of the bad calls by the ref, I noticed. So ref makes a bad call. Beckham stands up real fast and turns his back to the game. And I don't know what happened exactly, but to me, I'm thinking he's turning his back to the cameras because he wants to curse out that ref and doesn't want anybody to read his lips. He's an owner. He's got to comport himself in a certain way. He's a global icon, all that kind of stuff. You can't be seen cursing out the ref on video because, I mean, if I was watching his reaction, I imagine the cameras might have been watching his reaction as well. And I just thought it was funny. So he turned around and he stayed back to the game for like a minute and then or 30 seconds, whatever it was. And then when he turned back around, he was calm. So I can just imagine him sitting there, rats and frats,
Oh yeah, for sure, man. If I'd be an owner, dude, I wouldn't be able to hold back. I mean, we yell everything at the ref, at the players. If you guys ever sit by us, I think if you record something, there'll be a lot of bleeping going on. That's for sure.
There was a lot of celebrating going on in our group as well, and so we've got. Now, here's the thing: if we're talking superstitions, we've got a couple going on with this group of ours because we got your Stinky shirt, and in recent, the recent run of wins, every game that they've won, my brother has been to. So that comes out in the video, the Cafe Bustelo video that my brother's
that's
in that,
coming out this week.
My brother's in that video, and who's a 17-year vet with the Marines. So not that matters to anybody, but it's cool. But I was mentioning is like my wife enjoys going to the games as well. How do I tell my wife she can't come because my brother has to go now because he's considered one of the Lucky Charms, right?
He's like our mascot.
And then there's another one because Julio keeps bringing a friend of his. And same situation.
Oh.
We keep winning. So now he has to come. He can't miss.
And we had a nice, healthy group of friends around us this time.
Yeah,
usually it's just the three of us.
Sometimes it's just the three of us.
Usually it's the three of us, and this time I brought grandkids and daughter and son-in-law, and we had a couple extra people here and there.
Yeah,
they all think they're Lucky Charms now.
It's gonna be lonely because upcoming games, there are some midweek games. There's only one more weekend game, right? I mean, I kept thinking in my head, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I kept thinking that this weekend's game against New York was here. And I was like, all right, we got one more game next week here. No, it's not. It's in New York. And here, let's, we've got we're in New York, then we're in Columbus, then we're in Chicago, and then we got Columbus, which I'm not sure about 13th. I think that's a midweek game. I'm not sure. Then we're again traveling. We know that Orlando game's a midweek game. I think this last game of the season's a weekend game. and that's
ouch.
So we've got 2 home games that are midweek games. One's a Tuesday, one's a Wednesday. Yeah. I do know that.
Fiddlesticks.
And I know that's hard for my buddies here in Miami to come up to Fort Lauderdale on work nights. So
yeah, it sucks. I'm
gonna
try to make at least one of them. I'm to call in sick. Oops. Hopefully nobody hears that from my job. I know a couple of my colleagues at work watch this, so if I call in sick, oops, it's because I'm sick.
All right, so next up, we got this guy. We're traveling in his city. We got
Lewis Morgan. He's scoring like a madman. He didn't start fire. One of the guys.
He didn't start in their last game though. I did notice he came off the bench.
Something must have happened to him because he's
don't know why.
Usually starting the guys. He's on fire, and one of those players that we really didn't want to lose. He was probably the best player that we had since that was all business, and that opened up a lot of space that was able to get us the players that we have now, and I think it was a job well done. We also know another player as Pellegrini is now with New York City FC.
Yeah.
So he's playing with the other Jersey team.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, I'm happy for the kid because he was in kind of like purgatory for a bit. We bought out his contract, so he couldn't play for us. Apparently he wasn't doing great with his Estudiantes either. And I think he's still got skill. Now I remember complaining a lot about Pellegrini that he put out so much effort for very little result. But in a different, we see it time and time again. A player that struggles here lights it up somewhere else. Look at Carranza.
Right. Carranza is another guy that's on fire.
He just broke some record.
He scored a hat trick again.
Carranza becomes the second player in MLS history to score 2 hat tricks against the same team in one season.
Wow. And it was against who?
I don't know. I didn't get that from the person that sent me that message.
Right.
I did not do the research on that. Somebody sent me that message, and I am just reading it, so I do not know. So
that's hilarious. But yeah,
Steve Munoz still has Morgan's kit. He would have done so well with his current inter squad. I agree.
Yeah, he would have done great, man. Just the bad things that happened during the previous administration, I guess. But I wonder how it would have been if Chris Henderson would have been here from the get go, man. That I think we would have been up there, as far as playoffs and championship runs,
Yeah. And I agree with Kata. We need to destroy New York Redbulls. We're moving up in the standings, but the standings are so tight that we have to beat them. And right now, New York is just, one spot above us as of right this moment. I mean, as soon as some of these games end tonight, we could drop, potentially. But
hopefully not.
They have 41 points to our 36, so they're 5 points ahead of us. So I'm not even concerned about catching them. I just want to stay above the black line, stay in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And right now, we're going in the direction of not just making the playoffs, but hosting a home game.
Hopefully.
How great would that be?
Oh, that would be awesome. And you can guarantee that there will be, a higher attendance to a playoff game.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Somebody was asking about the new World Cup jersey. Have you seen that, Ed?
No, for the USA?
Yeah.
I haven't even seen them yet, man. I've been so concentrated on Inter Miami that I haven't I've kind of neglected the U.S. national team lately, but I did read something about it not being that good.
Yeah, here on our buddies at World Soccer Talk have the image up. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. To answer Kata's question about what our thoughts on the World Cup jersey, and trust us, during a World Cup, we'll be doing plenty of World Cup coverage right here on Football Miami TV. We'll do our normal deal, but we'll be talking.
Peter, what is that weird blue thing? What is that? A bow tie looking thing up on top over the USA emblem?
Bow tie? Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I'll tell you
Doesn't it look like a crappy bow tie, dude? I don't know.
I don't like it. There's another shot of it where you can see the sleeve. You can see the colors are on the sleeve. It is an ugly. And here this person is circling the ugly elements of the shirt right there. I do not like it. I am not a fan, said Sam.
Yeah, wow.
Here's some comparisons, I guess, to the New England Patriots jersey. All right. I don't care about that. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of even the all blue one. I mean, it looks like somebody spilled a bunch of stuff all over it. I'm not really a fan of that either. Just saying, Ed. So those are leaked. Everybody, so they're, the leaked jerseys generally are right. So not a fan.
It looks like they stained it with Café Bustelo, man. That's what it looks like. That blue one.
So let's go back to that stinky shirt. Café Bustelo.
The stank is on.
We will have a video out this week. I promise I will edit it in this week. We'll probably have it out Wednesday or Thursday. Just give some of the other stuff that we do a little room to breathe. So Ed and I and my brother tried everything at the Café Bustelo booth. Everything that's specific to the Café Bustelo. They also sell
pastelitos.
No, but I mean they also sell just beer and mixed drinks and stuff like that. So we didn't get that. We got all the stuff that was specific to a Café Bustelo booth. So we got all the coffees. Okay, let's see. What did we get, Ed? We got the colada.
The colada.
Cortadito,
café con leche.
And café con leche. So those are the three things.
Yeah.
They do have what they call cafecito, but that's just the colada in a smaller cup. So it's the same thing.
Right.
And then they have the what'd you call them? The I wanted to say empanadas, but they're not empanadas.
Oh, the what's it called? Pastelitos. They had some empanadas too. But
they didn't have what they said. Whatever was on the board is not what they had. So they supposedly had some sort of an empanada, and I think it was like a cheese empanada? Something. I think it was supposed to be savory. I think it was a savory empanada. Right. But different than what they have at the other booths. And then they were supposed to have a guava pastelito, and they didn't have either.
Which is they didn't have. They didn't have the guava, which is like if you go to any. That's a classic. The guava pastelito. They didn't have it, unfortunately, this time. We that would have hit the spot, but otherwise, one of them was what was it?
Chocolate
Nutella,
and apple, Nutella, and chocolate Nutella type thing,
right? Which they said they had something else, but I think they gave us 2 Nutellas by accident. So
Yeah. Well, we have a review of us drinking all this stuff, eating this stuff, giving you our thoughts. Should be fun. We've got a lot of positive response on the last food review we did, so we're going to keep it coming. And these will clearly go into next year because we don't have enough home games yet. This is one of those things we talked about all year doing, and then we just didn't do it because it's hard to pry Ed away from the tailgate, right?
Yeah, in our case, sometimes the conversations go well, and you're just talking to everybody.
Right. Yeah,
and people, we're kind of like the OGs, so people like to come up to us and talk to us about, old striker fans show up, and everybody's talking to you, so it's kind of hard to, get away.
It's so famous, he can't get away.
And after a couple beers, you're just like, you know what, I'm going to stay.
I'm good right here. So
I'm comfortable, Peter. So Peter's the one that always wants to leave, go. He's about responsibility, and
our 2 personalities, the way I see it. I am a very kind of scheduled rigid in some ways person, and you're a little more go with the flow.
Right.
And it works because it works for our relationship with the show and all that, and in friendship. But sometimes I'm stressing, like, come on, man, we gotta go. We got something to do. We got, and that's no different here in my house. I'm the same way here. I talk to my wife and I'm like, come on, we gotta go. We got somewhere to be. We can't be late. This and that. And she's just like, whatever. Brazilian. Show up when we show up.
They got that Latin time going.
Exactly. So Kata asks a question as we wrap up this show. House of Dragon review tomorrow. House of Dragons is on in like 59 minutes. So
yes.
And so I think tomorrow probably Ed schedules that show. That's really Ed's show. But I think we're probably going to talk about House of Dragons and She-Hulk. Two new shows, right? Makes sense.
She-Hulk. Yes, those two are good. If I see anything else, I'll send it to you. But I think those would probably make up most of the show. I think
She-Hulk of Dragons or House of She-Hulk. I'm working on titles. Working on titles.
I sent you a couple things on WhatsApp. You can probably pick some of those things out. There was some interesting stuff that
Sure.
that
but those
in the DC that might work out. So we could talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of fun things to talk about. But those are the two big shows that are out right now. So yeah, we got to go watch House of. Is the House of Dragon on HBO Max, or do you have to? If you want to watch it at 9 p.m., is that something you have to watch on the cable channel, or can you watch it live on HBO Max? I don't know, because I have HBO Max. I don't have cable.
I think it's on HBO Max.
All right. Well, that's where I'm gonna go check it out. And so, how soon into this episode, Ed, am I gonna go? Oh, this is just gratuitous.
I'm out of here.
This is too much. This is just gratuitous.
I don't think.
How much can my PG mind take?
I don't think this first episode is going to be like that. I heard some of the previews that some people have seen already, and I think it's basically going to tell you what it's about. The main characters, and so I don't think there'll be as much nudity as you would like, Peter Brown.
All right, and that I would like. All right, everybody. I think that wraps it up. Any last thoughts, Ed? Anything you want to say as we wrap this sucker up?
Guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your dog, cat, anybody to like and subscribe and follow us and watch us tomorrow at the Nerd Show live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Sounds good. All right, well, we'll see you tomorrow, everybody, and be a lookout for that Cafe Bustelo video coming up this week. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys make it fun. If you're not watching this live, where the hell are you? Join us live. Don't watch this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, please do watch it. But come join us live. It's more fun. So
it's also on podcasts all over the face of this earth. Just about every podcast imaginable. So I sometimes listen to myself on Spotify.
And you don't need to watch this only on YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook, on Twitter. I mean, there's many different ways you can catch the show. So just tune in live every Sunday. And thanks to those of you that do and are here every single week. We really appreciate you guys. All right, everybody. See ya. Please like, share, and subscribe.